After a double-header at Happy Valley, our attention turns to Sha Tin this Wednesday night for an 8-race programme on the all-weather, with some dirt specialists returning and some newbies as well. A very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Lejeune, joined here in the studio by Brett Davis and Paul Alley. And Brett, yeah, under the lights at Sha Tin on Wednesday night, one of your favourite meetings of the year.
Absolutely, yes. A lot of people have a big liking for the all-weather card. Of course, there's a handful of them throughout the season, so looking forward to it. It was a bit of a tricky day at the Valley on Sunday. It can often be a tricky betting meeting when we go to the all-weather for a full program on the dirt. But if you can find the winners, you'll be well rewarded. There are a few horses that have never tried the surface under race conditions as well, which is going to be interesting. So there's a little bit of form and trials and so forth to sift through, but I think if you do your homework, you can find a few winners at a price.
That's one of the dilemmas, isn't it? First time on the surface, Paul. No jackpots in the big ones, the TT or the 6-up, but first four on quartets. Yeah,
we're looking at races 4, 6 and 8. We're doing a first four and a quartet merged pool, 800,000 each going into those particular pools, so a bit of extra money there. And we always get good dividends, as you guys have said, no question, on the all-weather. And you have to do a little bit of extra work, but you can find it. And there's a few old stages there on the all-weather as well, you know, horses that are really suited for it and been set for this meeting.
Yeah, I must admit I've made probably a few errors this season with some of my tips, sort of looking at some of the older horses and not giving some of the newer horses perhaps as much respect as they deserve, and we're seeing a lot of them bob up. I mean, Mega Heart was a terrific winner on Sunday. Amongst a few others that have been tried in the betting. There's been a lot of betting plunges, so it's a real mix now of sort of the old and the new. I think it's sort of starting to level itself out, and there'll be a few oldies pop up tomorrow night, Andrew, but there'll be a few new ones too, I think.
I think the shorter breaks a new dynamic as well, because with the shorter period in between, normally it's been a lot longer, so a lot of horses are still fresh from last year, or still got the residual fitness. So I think that you have to take that into account this season.
We've got some nice young horses coming up this weekend as well, haven't we?
Yeah, there's a great meeting coming up the weekend. Just another touch on the all-weather. The last time we had some races there was, I think it's fair to say, quite a fair bias towards those on the pace. So learning a little bit about the track through the first couple of the races, I think, will be crucial when we get into the nitty-gritty later on.
All right. Well, before we do get into the nitty-gritty of this weekend, or this weekday meeting coming up, let's have a look back on what happened on Sunday at Happy Valley. And the feature race, well, the feature race came earlier on the programme, the highest rating race on the programme. We waited to the last for this, and this was Southern Legend in the sprints, and a mighty performance here. A lot of horses in front of him as they turned for home. Nash was very patient. This was the final leg of his treble.
This was a very good lineup. There was a lot of pace in the race with Dalradian speeding along. There was huge money bet in total on this race. A lot of money for Jumbo Luck in the final stages and Momentum Lucky. But Southern Legend, we've seen him do this before at the Valley. We spoke about it after the race, him being a high-quality sprinter and getting his opportunity, I think, now to probably sort of progress to Sha Tin, Paul, and maybe get a chance to sort of have a look at some of the bigger races, with the Jockey Club Sprint maybe one that they might look at.
Yeah, it was a good run at Sha Tin last time behind Pingu Spark, and they were well clear of anything else. And he's brought that to Happy Valley. He's won twice now at Happy Valley, but he's not a Happy Valley horse by any stretch of the imagination. It looks a really nice horse.
Yeah, any horse that can sort of get back and give away that bigger start in that class generally can hold their own and make progress. And you said it on the day, Andrew, there are a lot of sort of spruikers suggesting from Australia that he was a high-quality animal. And we've seen a fair bit of it already, and it certainly gives the impression that there's a bit more to come.
Well, he's in the sprint, isn't he, on International Day? And he's still got a bit to go to get there, it must be said. But I just wonder, he might even get out to a mile as well. Maybe not at the elite level, but he's got a horse with options.
You would think if they went to the Jockey Club Sprint at set weights in mid to late November and run well there, pick up third, fourth, maybe even win it, his rating's going to go from whatever it is now, like 102, it'll go up to 120 just because he's performed so well against the top quality horses at set weight. So that's the key. If he can do that, then he'll get the required points he needs to get a berth in the sprint in December, I would think.
Well, speaking of points, there you go. Southern Legend, he got 6 for that, so yeah, to 102 now. There weren't any massive moves, I suppose, on the day. You mentioned Mega Heart before. Golden Age was nice as well, making all, Paul.
Yeah, he's got gelded in the off-season, and it's really improved this horse. He went straight to the front. He's only young. He's still a 3-year-old, but there's plenty more to come from him. He looks like a really nice horse there. Mega Heart, as Brett mentioned earlier on, was an impressive winner, as was Fortune Booth as well. He won nicely.
He did, and Victory Duke was absolutely backed off the map. 21's into $7.90. and got the prize. We often see a lot of plunges in every race, really, but there's been a few big ones in the last probably 2 to 3 meetings that have all got the chocolates.
Yeah, all right. Well, those are the winners on the weekend. Time now for our horses to follow. See if we can find you some more. All right, Paul, you're first up, and you found one. This is not a winner, of course, but a nice run. Sichuan Boss.
Yeah, no, he was fresh up here, over 1650 metres. He did run over sort of shorter distances last season, and he does run well at Sha Tin. So once he gets to a mile at Sha Tin, even 1800 metres, I thought he stayed on really nicely. Fresh up here. He's improved in the off-season, and I think a win from him isn't far away whatsoever. He did stick on really nicely.
Won a race by 11 lengths before he came to Hong Kong. There's definitely something there. I liked him on the day as well, and I'm with Paul. I think he'll be winning a few shortly. Yeah,
Gentry ran another good race, didn't he? Largely ignored once more, but great for each-way punters.
Well, he was 20 to 1 when he won 2 starts ago, and he came out and paid $5 odds a place, so he's found form, definitely.
Mr. Cool was the horse that won from Frankie Law's stable, Andrew. That's where I'm going to go with my horse to follow. If you can't beat him, join him. That's what they say. Frankie Law, what an outstanding start of the season he's had. Can he keep this momentum going? Can he sustain the momentum that he's built? It's going to be a tough ask, but gee, every horse, 95% of his horses are just running enormous. Full glamour. This went around at 75 to 1. This won 4 out of 5 in France as a 2-year-old. There was no indications really from its 2 barrier trials that this would sort of put in an effort like this. But this was a very good run. He's matched it with Thunder Stomp, who's been going well all season. So I just think that he's obviously a happy horse, and we're seeing the best of that younger form produced now.
Yeah, he was rated 80 odd when he got here, and he's now rated 63, so there's a win in him very close.
Yeah, all right. I thought Unicron Jury's quite a nice run in there as well.
Yes.
First starter for me, one on the outside here, Better Choice. Went off at huge odds again, $77. Chris So and Alvin Ung combining here. Was a little bit green in the run. You can expect that, particularly first time at the Valley as well. But when he gets out and gets clear, him, along with Enjoy Life, is just ducking up the inside now in the light blue. They had the best closing sectionals here behind Sharp Mind and Merry Go Winner. Went off very short.
Jenny gave both of them a mention from the paddock. She's mentioned Enjoy Life a few times. She mentioned the horse that you've highlighted there as a nice enough type, and it was an eye-catching run.
Yep. Hit the line very well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Has he caught your eye in track work too?
Well, he hadn't done too much, and that's obviously why he went out at such big odds. But he did what he had to do without being outstanding. His trial's just okay, but obviously he saves it for race day.
Yeah, he won't be $77 with a senior jockey on next time, I wouldn't think. All right, well, let's get into the action. 8 races on the all-weather then on Wednesday nights, and we kick things off with a Class 5. It's over the 1,200 metres. Double Master heads them. He's second up. He goes up in trip. A fast one, a course and distance winner. He likes to roll from barrier 3. Victor Emperor back into Class 5. Good record here. Trendful drops in class as well. Foxbat all-weather first time for him. Class 5 first time there. Dynamic Lines was behind. Fantastic Fabio last time out. Oriental Fantasia likes to roll as well. Down to Snow Hooves. Only 1 win, but it was course and distance.
I feel like I'm at the Metallica concert, Andrew. Good to fast the expected tempo for the first. We're on the all-weather. Double Master likely to roll forward. Happy Sound, a fast one. Oriental Fantasia, they can all be handy. Snow Hooves could potentially want to press on. I spoke about the fact that it was a little bit of a bias towards those on the pace the last time we had a few races on the dirt. So it'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds here in the first, but I don't think they'll hang around early.
No, it looks like a really fastly run race. Horse that should get a nice run in behind them, though, is a fast one. Douglas White here, 800 metres down the back straight, and he just jumped out nicely enough, cruised along and wasn't pushed out at the end here. So he's had 2 starts for 1 win on the all-weather. Trendful, as a horse, hasn't really raced on the all-weather too much, but as you can see here, he likes to work. He works well on the surface. And I think with this fast pace, he could be a horse that's suited by it as well. He hit it, his gallop was good. And Smiling Glory is likely to come up as one of the favourites with Joe Moreira aboard. You can see that time there, but 21.6. I don't think they're going that fast, but he's still working okay, this horse, at the end.
All right, Moreira will be on Smiling Glory on race night as he makes his way back from suspension. Let's have a few of them in action. There's a number coming out of this first race to have a look at, including Happy Sound. He's only had a couple of starts on the surface. He's an on-speed runner, and there he is, yellow blinkers, easy to pick out. The other horses to take note of, we've got Dynamic Lions. finishes in third place here. We've got a fast one who's out wide, and the other horse down here in the middle is Oriental Fantasia. Ignore the arrow on the top right.
Yeah, look, there's a few in this race, Andrew, that can sort of vie. As we looked at that speed map, I think Happy Sound eventually will probably win that early battle for the pace. And if the all-weather track is favouring horses on the lead, then it's going to give him a great chance. Fantastic Fabio got through underneath him here to cut him down, but the others didn't make too much of an impression. So I'm giving him a chance, Happy Sound, but, you know, he doesn't win out of turn.
No, he doesn't. A fast one drew 12 and he's drawn barrier 3. So
Yeah.
I think from barrier 3 he should get a nice run.
And get home.
And he got home well. So he's the one I really like out of that race.
If he can get out of the gates on time and be within, you know, cooey, so to speak, then he'll be hard to hold out at the end.
Yeah, I think with no pace he'd lead, but there's plenty here, so he can just afford to take the sets and pounce down the straight. That's the plan anyway. Next one we're going to have a look at is Victor Emperor. Victor Emperor, who's the mount of Zach Purton, and steps onto the surface, not for the first time, but the first time in a while.
Yeah, look, he's had 2 starts previously, Victor Emperor, over this surface, but his work's been pretty good. He's done everything right leading into this particular contest. It's interesting, Zach Purton's jumped aboard him as well. He has put on a little bit of weight, 28 pounds, but he looks okay for it. He doesn't look too bad for it at all. So,
yeah, look, he's going to stalk the pace, isn't he, should he get out well. He's had 2 runs in the class for a first and a second. He's a very interesting runner. He's never tried the surface before. I think he'll get burnt off early, but he can hit the line a bit harder than probably most at his best, so he's one to consider.
Last time he was in Class 5, he won. That was off a rating of 39. He's on a rating of 39 once more as well. So that is Victor Emperor. Hopefully it'll be an each-way price as well. But, Paul, what do you think here for the first?
well, I do like this so far. So I like the fact that he is drawn better. I think he can sit behind a very fast pace. 2 starts for 1 win in this class. I think he's the one. I like him. To beat Victor Emperor, I've got him in there for second. I think he can improve at a big price. Happy Sound, as Brett mentioned, heavy on the pace. And Dynamic Lions, his best runs have been on this all-weather. I think he can run well on the surface. 2, 3, 5 and 9, but I'll just play 2 and win.
Yeah, I juggled them around here. It's Class 5. We're not sure exactly how the track might play, so I've sort of juggled the numbers around. I've ended up coming back to a fast one. Just hope he can jump well and sort of stalk the pace. Victor Emperor likely to do the same. Foxbat from the Frankie Law stable, I'm going to give him another chance. I think coming onto this surface, he's a very interesting runner. He's right in the market. Happy Sound's going to lead them. I'm going to play an exotic here, a trio. I'll banker the 2, a fast one. I'll throw in Double Master with the 3, 5, 6 to fill the minus.